The Gospel of Matthew. The Gospel of Matthew is the first book of the New Testament of the Bible and one of the 3 Synoptic Gospels. In this Gospel, Matthew is writing the life of Jesus to a Jewish perspective to show that Jesus was the Messiah the Jews have been waiting for a long time. According to sacred tradition that many Christians believe, the Gospel of Matthew was written by the Apostle Matthew, but some scholars disagree and say it was written by an anonymous Jew in the 1st century AD. The Gospel starts with Jesus' genealogy, which starts at Abraham and ends with his earthly father, Joseph. The Gospel also focuses on Joseph's side on the infancy life of Jesus and continues the story with Jesus' baptism, ministry, and eventually his death and resurrection, just like the 2 other Synoptic Gospels talk about. This Gospel in simple terms is basically focused to a Jewish audience, but all 3 Synoptic Gospels often share many similarities when it comes to how it is written and the fact that it often focuses on Jesus' teachings, birth, death, and eventually his resurrection. The Gospel presents Jesus as the one who fulfilled many prophecies that the prophets foretold years ago before he was born. Prophecies like he will be born in Bethlehem, conceived in the womb of a virgin, and many more from the Old Testament. The Gospel of Mark. The Gospel of Mark is the 2nd book in the New Testament and the shortest of the Synoptic Gospels. Tradition says that this was written by Mark, but most scholars would say otherwise, and conclude that Mark's Gospel might be the oldest of the 3. The Gospel of Mark focuses on a more Roman audience, and also has a fast-paced like theme which focused on the powers that Jesus has as God, such as casting out demons, healing the sick, and many more. You will notice that Mark's Gospel often switches from one scene to another very quickly, which is why it fits a Roman audience which wanted fast-paced stories. The Gospel of Mark starts with the preaching of John the Baptist and proceeds to narrate the other crucial events found in the 3 Synoptic Gospels, such as Jesus being baptized, but in a fast-paced manner. This Gospel also focused more on the actions that Jesus did rather than his teachings. In this Gospel, it focused more on Jesus being an exorcist, a teacher, a healer, and a miracle worker, hence the reason why it often focused more on his actions rather than his teachings itself. The Gospel of Luke. The Gospel of Luke is the 3rd book of the New Testament and the last of the Synoptic Gospels. This Gospel is traditionally attributed to Luke the Evangelist, who is also attributed to writing the Acts of the Apostles. The Gospel starts with a formal prologue addressed to Theophilus, who is often likely to be a high-ranking Roman official, and then Luke proceeds to narrate the birth narratives of John the Baptist and eventually the birth narrative of Jesus. Luke also focused on Mary's side on the birth narrative of Jesus, and then proceeds to narrate other parts found in the other Synoptic Gospels, such as Jesus' ministry, death, and resurrection. The Gospel of Luke is often more pointed out towards a broader Gentile audience and sometimes to Greek-speaking people. When you compare the Gospel of Luke to the Acts of the Apostles, you will notice a very parallel way of the events and sentences being structured. Luke is also the only Gospel that has a detailed narrative of Jesus' ascension at the last part of the Gospel, as well as the first part of the book of Acts, which transitions from Jesus' earthly ministry to the mission of the church. And there you have it, the 3 Synoptic Gospels explained. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, then feel free to comment something, whether it's pointing out a mistake, contradictions you noticed, or even something that has to do with being a Christian. And please don't forget to pray for me and for everyone, and also to like and subscribe to my channel, because I will appreciate it and it will help me create more videos like this. Thank you so much, and may God bless us all.